The Trump administration in the first 10 days is marked by, quote, complete chaos, close quote. Those aren't my words. I heard them from a Republican analyst on Fox News, because that is how mainstream Republicans and MAGA are seeing the first 10 days as Donald Trump and his administration careen from one constitutional and abuse of power crisis to another. He is inflamed, engulfed in flames related to his domestic and foreign policy initiatives he's trying to use through executive order. We've got 10 lawsuits. We've got the Medicare and Medicaid portal crashing because people panicked and did a run on the bank or a run on government services because they thought Donald Trump was cutting off their entitlements. Why? Because Carolyn Levitt, his young press secretary, and I'm not knocking young people, I'm just saying she's unqualified and inexperienced. She led to a panic because she couldn't properly explain what this federal funding freeze was supposed to be all about. And it was so chaotic that then a day later, Donald Trump, to try to fix the chaos, made it more chaotic by rescinding the freeze related to domestic. I haven't even talked about what he's done to cut off funding for foreign affairs and foreign investment, all roiling the economy, while he's supposed to be focused on helping American voters around their kitchen table. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF. Let's break it all down right now. I'm watching Fox. I thought I slipped over by accident, or my dog sat on the remote, and I ended up on MSNBC. All of a sudden, I see a tremendous critique of the utter chaos that is the mark of the beginning days of the Trump administration. And if anybody out there thinks it's going to get better with time, this wound is going to heal with time, Donald Trump's executive function is going to get better, leave me a comment. I want to read it. So let's take a look at the clip so you know what I'm talking about and what started off this hot take. Let's play it.
What I'm seeing, though, is that this proposal is having the opposite reaction that they intended, at least in some cases. So there are all of these Reddit threads of federal employees talking about how this buyout has made them more motivated to do their jobs, saying, I've never been more motivated to stay and defend the Constitution.
Great.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, you get acting as if everybody who has dedicated their life to public service is easily replaceable or not doing their job is a gross position and not reflective of reality at all. And they will learn that the hard way when they start pushing people out, doing, this freeze that went, so well. Yesterday that she had such a good first day of the press secretary, and now her tweet was enjoined, right, for the judge who looked at this and has frozen the freeze. It is complete chaos. It is not being managed in any sort of orderly fashion at all. It's confusing even Republican senators who are getting their marching orders from the top. Then they go out there, they say what they're supposed to say, like good little soldiers. Then they hear from all their constituents that the portals are down. They don't know what's going on with Head Start, Medicaid, et cetera. Then they hear that the freeze has been frozen. They say that's a good thing. And I'm sure they're about to get slapped on the wrist again when they've stepped out of line.
But you mean they unfroze the freeze? You can't freeze a freeze.
They unfroze the freeze.
Unfroze the freeze, and then it was frozen again, and then it was unfrozen. We thought the freezer door is open at this point.
All right.
Okay. I don't know what that was all about, but I do know what we're observing. We're observing already a president who is either, and you can pick whatever you want here, gassed, fatigued, mentally incoherent, and is not thinking through any of these major policy decisions. No president would ever attempt to do any two of the things that Donald Trump has done, and he's done 30 of them. Let's cut off foreign funding for wars and things that we've supported in the past. Who does that? Who does that just with a freeze, which throws our military, industrial, and technology businesses and sector into chaos? Right? Who does that? Who tries to take the U.S. out of the U.S. economy? Like Donald Trump. Let's get rid of federal workers who are competent, who know how to do their job, who have the legacy knowledge and information to do their job, to go solve airplane crashes, right? To go be air traffic controllers, to be career prosecutors, to be inspectors general, right? To do technology for the company, who've been there forever. for a good reason, because they're good at their job and they've got the legacy knowledge. Who gets rid of them? And all that's backfired anyway. All that 7-month pork chop that Donald Trump was dangling to federal workers to make them go away, most of them are saying that is incentivizing us to stay in our job and continue to defend democracy against you. And I applaud them. The resistance is televised. At least it's on YouTube. Just like we just saw one of the inspectors general for the agricultural department, she refused to leave her office. They dragged her out like this was Soviet Union style or North Korea. Right? Inspector General Fong, she didn't want to go because the firing by Donald Trump was illicit and illegal. And she held her ground. The resistance may not be televised, but it's here, as I said, on YouTube. And now we've got Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, who doesn't know how to do her job, that roiled the markets, that crashed the Medicare, Medicaid portal, because people freaked out when Donald Trump, tell the world, I'm taking the U.S. out of the U.S. economy, because he doesn't understand how much of a contributor to the engine of our economy the U.S. government spending is. Its entitlement program, which is in the trillions of dollars, the money it invests in and gives in grants and loans to people, from Small Business Administration loans to social services, to children's health and healthcare and school, and for senior citizens, and for veterans programs, okay? And for not-for-profits. That is a tremendous lever that, if it's properly handled, the U.S. government and its leader, the president, has to help the economy grow. Where would the economy have been if Joe Biden had invested $3 trillion in it to restart its heart after COVID when Donald Trump almost killed it? And he's doing it again. It's like he got a second chance. He almost single-handedly killed the economy with COVID. Joe Biden revives it. And then he gets pilloried because the price of eggs goes too high after inflation results from the $3 trillion. As it drops before the election, but not soon enough for people. Then you've got Donald Trump gets a second chance at the economy, and he's going to tank it again. Who pulls the U.S. out of the U.S. economy? Nobody. Who announces a freeze of all of all government spending in a certain sector, and then a day later have to fix it because his press secretary screwed up on the dais about the only people here that are confused, or you're confused? Here, let's play that clip.
Yesterday, the White House Office of Management and Budget directed an across-the-board freeze, with some exceptions for individual assistance, we understand, to federal grants. It's caused a lot of confusion around the country among Head Start providers, among providers services to homeless veterans, Medicaid providers, states saying they're having trouble accessing the portal. Could you help us clear up some of the confusion, yes, give some certainty to folks? And also, is that uncertainty, how does that uncertainty service the president's voters?
Well, I think there's only uncertainty in this room amongst the media. There's no uncertainty in this building. So let me provide the certainty and the clarity that all of you need.
You know who's confused? The Republicans. They can't even follow the talking points about these things. And let me remind people one more time. We are just 10 days into the Trump administration. We should have a counter on the bottom. We're 10 days in. Does anybody think Donald Trump's executive function is going to get better with time? No. By the way, where is JD Vance? Is he in a secret location already? Is he in a survivor location? What's going on with him? I can see they're going to bury him for the beginning of this presidency, rather than set him up for a future presidency. We're going to continue to follow all of this chaos right here on Legal AF. Come here regularly. Signal to the algorithmic gods that run YouTube and other places that you want this content, you need this content, you want to see more of what I'm curating here on Legal AF, the YouTube channel, and hit the free subscribe button for us as well. Follow me over on Legal AF, the podcast, 5 years in the making, top 10 in the world at the intersection of law and politics, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the YouTube channel for Midas Touch. And then I got a new show, new podcast, Popok Live, at the intersection of law and politics and other things every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Midas Touch Network. Again, help us subscribe, help us build our subscription base, get us to 500,000. before our 6-month anniversary. So until my next reporting on Legal AF, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.